Hey everyone, welcome back to Care Fiction. I'm your host Subhankar. Today we are going to start our book review segment and we are going to kick it off with Blood of Elves from the Witcher novel series. This is going to be fun, but before we begin, if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing, and if you are a returning subscriber, it's good to have you back. Many people have picked this book at different points of time. Some have started with the books right off the bat, others after playing the games, and some after watching the TV series or the movies. I picked it up after playing the video games, which are awesome with a great narrative. I will try to be spoiler free in my review, but I may spill some tiny minute spoilers, but trust me, that is not going to be devastating. Since I am starting the first of the series, let me throw a little preface to the chronology of the books. Firstly, we have the two short stories which are part of the canon, Sword of Destiny and The Last Wish. From a publishing standpoint, Sword of Destiny came before The Last Wish, but chronologically it's the otherwise, and the season 1 of the Netflix series borrows from the short stories, but it has not yet reached the books. Then we have the 5 books which falls under the main central Witcher saga, and finally we have the latest novel Season of Storms published in 2018, which is set between the short stories in The Last Wish. Let's talk about the plot. While I cannot lay out the details without ruining it for you, but all I can say that the story involves around Geralt of Rivia and his ward Cirilla. But first things first, I would highly recommend reading the 2 short stories before you start reading this book, because they give us a good amount of background to the main characters, Geralt, Ciri and Yennefer. And also, minor spoiler, the book takes you straight into the center of the events from the beginning. And it is a reasonable choice because the short stories has already paved the way for that. If you do heed my advice and start with the short stories, you will find a very noticeable change in the nature of the story. What I mean is, the short stories focused more on the monster slaying, that is contracts taken by Geralt, while the novel focuses more on a central plotline and connected stories. Personally, I feel this is a very good change and that it sits well with me, and who knows, maybe we will get some monster action in the later novels. And of course, I had to read them first. With that, we segue into the narrative structure. The entire story is broken down into small subplots, which are of course connected, and each one of them involves different characters and character interactions. Each of the stories tend to wrestle with some problems sometimes, and so a few of them end with a certain mini climax or big points, and that thread is picked up later. While that may seem like taxing, but it gets settled later. Next, I want to talk about 2 prevalent literary elements found abundantly in many fantasy fiction works: the chosen one and the hero's journey. The chosen one is usually a person with specific talents or gifts, or someone who has been marked by a prophecy to perform a certain heroic task, like Harry Potter, Frodo Baggins, or King Arthur, and many more. On the other hand, the hero's journey, to be very condensed, involves a hero who ventures on an adventure, is victorious in a decisive crisis, and finally has changed or transformed. For instance, broadly speaking, Star Wars. The chosen one can be a bit tricky, and sometimes it tends to be a trite, and sometimes, if not executed well, it feels just another trope. But Sapkowski treats this element carefully and ingeniously by distinguishing distinctly between the chosen one and the hero's journey. Well, I am saying hero's journey all the time, but we have to see if that fits into the rest of the novels. But I am just referencing it for the sake of clarity. Typically, a chosen one also takes a heroic stance, but here Geralt takes a heroic stand, but spoiler alert, he is not the chosen one. And you will understand that from the beginning itself. Coming to the characters, a good amount of characters is thrown into the mix, apart from the protagonists, and there are point of view narratives following these characters in the form of mini short story arcs. Although it's a matter of personal taste, but frankly I loved it because most importantly, it gives the reader some space to understand the motivations and inspirations of these characters, irrespective of how major or minor they could be. And also these stories don't stretch too much so that it bogs you down. This helps in compartmentalizing the view of the world in which the story is set. Like that there is trouble brewing up unbeknownst to the protagonists. This also lends to the character development. And speaking of which, while we cannot analyze just from one book, But if you want to get in depth into the characters of Geralt and Yennefer, you should start with the 2 short stories. But this doesn't mean that this book sways away from that. A word of caution though, at first jumping between these stories and characters like that may sound a little confusing to some, and it may be a problem when you try to discern certain character traits and arcs. So what I would suggest is that you take a note of what looks like important points to you, because no doubt there will be a lot of characters in the next novels. Next we have politics. Needless to say, you realize how much of a crucial role politics has to play in accentuating the plot, and I'm looking at A Song of Ice and Fire novel series by J.R.R. Martin when I'm saying this. And Blood of Elves is no less different than that, as it establishes a political intrigue which will be comprehensive in the next novels. You get a very good insight on what is about to come, and this book is absolutely clear about that, which I think is a very good thing. Let's talk about magic, which is a central element in not only the world of The Witcher, but any other fantasy works. And as such, there is no overt display of magic in this book, which is good in my opinion, and you will find a good deal of magic here, which is definitely going to get more fascinating in the later novels. So that's my review of Blood of Elves. Let me see, I covered plot, narrative, a couple of literary elements, character development, politics, and I didn't give away much about magic because we still have the other novels to look at. So, did I miss anything? Let me know. There is one little thing that slightly gnaws at me, which is a lack of monster hunting by Geralt. Although one could argue that he has diverted his attention to protecting his world, which is of utmost importance, but what adds to Geralt as a whole, apart from his character, is that he is widely known for slaying monsters. Plus, he would also need coin or money to subsist in the world. And coming from reading the short stories, which put Geralt to go toe-to-toe with monsters like the Striga and Dougal, I felt a little lacking about that kind of thrill and monster action in this book. Although there is a substantial amount of good swordplay and action present in this novel. So here is my final verdict. As a starter to the Witcher saga, it is very good. Every character is given a space to develop on its own, and it gives exposition to certain pivotal events, so that the reader is not left in the dark. And also, it is not a huge book, as you can see from the thickness. It only has around 313 pages in the published format that I have, and its language is pretty simple. Hope you have got a good idea from this spoiler-free review. And the next book that I am going to review is The Hero and the Crown, which I am currently reading and shall be over in a week. So please subscribe to get notified when a review is out. And thank you for watching this video, and as the drill goes, like, subscribe and comment. See you soon.